Hey guys, how is it going? My name is MrGreenYeti. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable. We are in this room. Do we wait here forever? I can't even remember. No. Yes. I actually can't click. Oh. What just happened? Nothing is that. Do I have to reset? Okay. Begin the game again. We're going to go see what the yes option is for that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
We shall see
Then
what the other option is.
Its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any other time you want. Like,
but I don't want to.
Now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
No. Ow. Oh, it's this song.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Yes.
You too will become quite unbearable.
And it just instrumentals for the whole ever. I don't know when I'm gonna stop playing this because there is like a million ends.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Right, so we still need
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
We still need to do the new content. It's not new content anymore. What if I went the other way? I have a bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
You don't. You have new dialogue for when I'm holding a bucket. Wait, what do I do this way? There's something. Okay, I'll go down. There's a broom closet this way as well. Everything's normal.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
What?
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
You have new dialogue for every section in the game if you hold a bucket.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
Oh.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Degrade the broom closet.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
So, this dialogue is completely different without the bucket. That's fucking insane that they've actually done that.
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Is it another bucket? Ah! Yes!
There. Now it's settled.
My
no
bucket.
more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yeah. What he said.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Yeah?
You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also
Yo, we got you a bucket sticker to put on your bucket so you can bucket while you bucket.
Whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Please explain.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Goodbye. I live here now. What if I... What bucket though? Ah. Okay. I mean, there is a broom closet ending you can get, but I guess you can't get with the bucket.
Coming to the staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's do this, because I've got a bucket with me. Just follow along to what you're saying. Oh, opened. Business strategy is shoot pandas. Bing bong. Oh. I will go up the elevator, I guess, instead of to the office. Let's do this. It's this fucking song. You haven't seen the video yet, but I'm using this song as in a Minecraft cut down version that I'm attempting to edit still, taking ages. But I'm using this to speed up a building segment, and it's like using it so often. What? Hello? I'd have to go up? Can I go down? Maybe down. Maybe down. Bing bong. Is the rate of singing? Well, fuck you. Into the boss's office. I've forgotten the code though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
The bucket.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
What was the
It
code?
would be with him always.
I forgot the code.
The bucket would. And he knew it.
Yeah.
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
It was close.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket
What's
guiding
happened?
him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
That didn't happen before. It's very dark though. Ah!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines.
They're actually
Remember,
collectibles?
No reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I don't believe
can't
you.
buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will. The elevator? Meh. The fact there's there's new dialogue for every single scene once you have the
The
bucket is
elevator
fucking
raced
insane.
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
What?
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
My lift broke? Ah, fuck. I don't remember that.
Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want
What?
to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Is this new content or is this old content? Because I don't remember this at all. I guess I'm gonna go back and press the 3. Hello.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay. I'm gonna assume that's extra content, but that's pretty cool. Like, this game is incredible for just, like, that. There's...
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Okay. Like, this game is just an incredible
A
piece
hint
of...
regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again? No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
As you do. This must be new content for the bucket. Which is insane, because... everything is new because of bucket. Hello.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush.
Paintbrush.
He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Dude, if I have to come back up, we shall see.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I'm going back up, I guess. Gonna make me go back up. But I wonder if I go back up now. This is stupid. Go waste so much time.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over.
Where am I?
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him. And
who
why
the fuck
he
was
felt
that?
So alive
I just saw somebody.
it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the
What's
eyes
happening?
of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's.
This elevator is longer than it was.
Through the public eye, that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Where?
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Well, baby. What the fuck is happening? It's me. World's first sentient machine. 3, 4, 2, 7. It's my chair.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Can I do anything here? Okay. The dude who came up with pizza. The guy who went to Mars. Oh god, it's dark.
There was no one here.
Oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take
Don't
him
you
seriously.
dare take away my bucket.
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable
Don't you
normalcy of
dare
loneliness.
take my bucket away. Oh, what's that? Don't take me bucket. They have taken my... What was that? Something just popped up. The meeting today?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting today in the meeting room. Figurine Finders Committee. Yo! Is there a new figurine? I had to do this as well. Every time I respawn, I need to click the computer. Wait!
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
You miss my bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go to the meeting. Oh my god. In here it's changed. We need more planks. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Excuse me. Inside of the sequel exhibit, a large room, lots of boxes, stairs, something to do with stairs, somewhere both red and blue, nearby a fireplace, a private but smelly place for an important person. Oh, it's just a hint where they are. Is this some kind of game? Figlies! Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room. This is incredible. What's that? There will be a reward for finding them all.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Oh. I love how much you could just do the same thing again and still get
Coming
new
to
stuff.
a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What if, though, right, you're ready for this? What if I press 33333?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Oh my god.
Now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Let me in.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical
Does that
explanation.
happen before? What if I go back up again? Is it just going to repeat the fucking... that? Maybe
Wait,
not.
Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go
I don't
back
want to
up?
repeat this, okay.
When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
The bucket said nothing. Okay. I don't want to repeat the 3 things. Go back down. What do you mean? I have to press the 3?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Yes.
Perhaps
I want
the
more bucket
had
dialogue.
missed something. Perhaps
was
he
loud.
had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
I got the bucket ending, I guess that would have been. I also need to go to the broom closet without the
A
bucket.
hint of regret nagged in the back of
So I need to do
Stanley's
everything
mind.
twice, because
Should
bucket's
Stanley
dialogue.
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Bucket. Big button. Ooh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The bucket.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
427.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this,
One
and
of
it
them.
very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that
427.
everything
Oh.
would be fine.
That's me. It's a very dark looking fucking place. Button.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Better fucking not
Had
move.
the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do?
It's important to distinguish.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He
What?
screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
The fact that every single piece of dialogue in this game has a bucket version is fucking amazing.
But here was the proof. The
Oh, it's this
heart
room.
of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking,
What?
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past
It's so
began
dark.
to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Fuck the system. Okay. But I can't see you very well. I wonder if this is going to be changed now I have a bucket. What's in here as well? Do I just leave? Sure. Mind controls idle, awaiting input.
When at last they came to the source of the room's
Why didn't think on was off, I thought off was on. Whoops.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
What's that?
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait.
What?
What was happening?
What?
Why
What?
had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
That doesn't happen without a bucket.
Silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty,
Let me out!
until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
The facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Yeah.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What does that mean? So you can't even get normal endings with the bucket. Jesus Christ.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like?
I was just there. What do
It was
you
a
mean?
computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Where's the input command? Computer. I will not take the bucket. I will go do the ending again.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think the third code is the computer in the boss's office. Do I want a broom closet there? Not yet. I will save it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I think it's this computer. Yes. Nice. What is this bathroom? Oh, it opens. It's blue. Oh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must
Ah,
be a
somewhere that
snappy
smells
name
somewhere
for these
posh.
things.
The
What about
boss's toilet.
mini stands?
Mini stands.
Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I like Stanley figs. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lonely, lovely purse. Extreme Bathrooms magazine. So we will go now do the ending that I just had without the fucking...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Whoops.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yeah. I wonder if you can even come back up if you don't have the bucket. Bro, there are so many there's gonna be so many endings. Because each ending now has 2 endings. Bucket and without bucket. That's insane. Interesting. I will go do
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm gonna lose track of the endings I've got, by the way. Especially with a bucket now, that's fucking insane.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
600 people.
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What happened to 601 and why is there 2 black ones? I'm concerned. Wow.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again...
I said we actually get the freedom ending this time.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
How many buckets?
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah. That's like the ending. Like the... What the fuck am I... Okay. The ending. Achievement, beat the game. There you go. The end is never the end is never the end is loading. Meow.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's pressed.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
I'm busy, leave me alone.
Advance the story in any way.
There's only one more computer, I think, for the computer thing. I'm gonna go...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't know where the last computer is, so that's a worry. Wait, did I? Wait, is this that crossed off? Please. Okay, a large room, lots of boxes. That's the room to the right. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Downstairs, here. Some are both red and blue. I know where that is as well. Broom closet. Meow.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I will say
Baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything.
At
least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
The emotions...
He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
The emotions coming from his voice in the newer stuff is way more prominent than this, which I assume is more early stuff. Because I'm pretty sure he recorded like 4 years, like for over the course of 4 years, content for this game. And that was 7 years ago, and then the new content I assume is now. So his voicial expressions, yeah, sure, whatever.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here,
is slightly more prominent in the newer content, from what I can tell so far.
The broom closet. At least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Bit rude.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid.
Excuse me?
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
There you go. Room close ending. Whee! Right, we'll go. What do I want to do? Up. Let's go to the escape
Stanley
ending.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wherever escape ending is, I forget. Okay.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Kill surprise. Oh, let's do the escape ending. Or escape the one to the left. I want to know what happens if you go down escape with a bucket. I also want to try going back.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I also want to try going back up without a bucket.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay. I don't believe you.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward.
Yes.
And willingly confront his death.
Yes. Yes? Red. Whee. Okay. What has happened?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Excuse me? Panic?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator,
The fuck?
as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I have fallen. What the fuck is this? I don't remember this at all. Stanley Barrel.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is what I had in BioShock, like the museum of the game development. I feel like this goes on for actually ever, which is worrying. Different doors. The office. The buttons. Let's not get. Each hand is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesizer. Tap 3 a bunch of times. Credits. Who's the voice man of this game? Kevin Brighton. He's incredible. Is there actually a way to leave here? I can't remember. Oh, okay. Let's leave. So yeah, that's just like a mini museum.
Oh,
which is kind of
look
cool.
at these two.
I'm looking
How
at-
they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Turn the game off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
No.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
What? Let's go. Squished. Okay. I'm back. Oh my god. I wanted to end the episode. How dare you? Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Oh my god, they're all buttons. Do they reset after a while? No, they come back on. How dare you? I was trying to turn them all off, but I don't think it's going to work. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Is there any buttons that look out of place? No. Do I just reset? Okay. Sure. I don't feel like I did it properly. Oh, I can do that again. Okay. What if I quit the menu and load back in? I guess we'll find out next time. This is still this. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.